Don't get mugged off on the internet. There are real gun dog trainers out there who know what they're doing.
You'll never ever find it there. He's got a turn. Get out! Long way back. He got it. And because he went in the wrong direction of the wind, and we put it wrong side of the wind on purpose, the dogs ran out into the wind. He can't wind it this side. He had to then work on directional, and that's when you need your directional handling. And if your dog won't stop at a distance, whether it's a Spaniel or a Labrador, you're in real trouble. The idea, it's got to stop when it's told. And that's what it's got to listen to you, because if it doesn't, it's just running around the field like an headless chicken. Right? So that dog has got to learn to trust you and run that line. But what line? Because it's in a big field, you've got to get it down there, and then you've got to be able to correct it when you need to. And that is the skill of handling your dog. Anybody can do simple scene retrieves. When you're ready, Andy, send your dog. Notice how I stand back. The Spaniel's got to sit there. That dog's got to do the retrieve. And that dog's supposed to run a nice straight line down there, because he's copying the other dog where the other dog was down there. He's just got to keep going, and that is a beautiful line he's taking. And he's going to come into the dummy, right where those blue bags are, right down the bottom where the other dog was down the bottom. There. And that was a beautiful retrieve for a young dog, and now he's got to come back up. Note how he's not pissing now, because he's not got a head to freaking concentrate on where other dog scent is. He's in a field, and that's why the concentrations come back on that young dog. And that's what you need. You need to keep that dog on your side. And if you keep taking it to parks, and you keep taking it down tracks where other dogs pee, that's exactly what that dog will do. He'll get into the habit of doing that. And that's why when people have town dogs and they're on the streets, they're always sniffing, they're always wanting to pull, they're always wanting to say hello to other dogs. Where if you've got a working dog and you keep it in the right environment, the dog works for you and concentrates on you. Line the dog up and send the dog for the next one. Put that dummy away, send the dog for the next one. And this dog's just going to sit here. He's not allowed to move, he's not allowed to walk towards me. If he does, he gets told to sit there. He doesn't get disciplined very often because he doesn't go wrong very often. He knows his place, right? Now the dog's confidence isn't quite so good, look, but he's got to trust the master. And the master's saying, no, go back down there again, and if you trust me, there'll be something down there. So, as you can see, although the first retrieves could be scene retrieves, what happens then? We go and put them out there, and they don't know how many's out there, and they've got to learn to trust you to go to the same spot again. You're building up to being able to handle your dog into an area. That's lovely. You've got the dog right down there, and there's another dummy after this, and let's see if he can get it down there again. The idea, he sat steady for the first one while I handled the dog down there. Sit up, you! And what's happening is the season's just starting, and because he's an older dog, I haven't put any pressure on this dog. He's just had wonderful fun in the backfield with the other dogs and that, and I've been concentrating on younger dogs. But he's still got to learn and listen to me. And he knows better than starting to eat the grass and walk around. So put that dummy away, Andy, and send him again. And it doesn't hurt this dog to sit here. Well, this dog has the retrieves, because this is what happens on the shoot. Other dogs are on retrieves, and you just got to sit there. You want to get your dog spot on again, you just got to tell them. Push the dog back with your hand. And the confident of the straight line running dog, if you've trained it right, will go out and out and out and out until you tell it. So technically, that dog should run that straight line down that field, right to the bottom corner, until Andy blows his whistle in the area that we know we've put the dummies, where the dog doesn't look, there. And there's a dummy there, just one dummy in that field. Lovely. Absolutely wonderful. Worth coming out, training, all the way from Plymouth, just for this, in this field, rather than going down the park, doing a few retrieves, taking the dog back. This is how you train dogs, in the environment that you need to be in. This is part and parcel of the game. And when the dog comes back this time, we're going to give the dog a distraction. We're going to throw a dummy over the dog's head. All Andy's going to do is whistle him back to him if he turns to go on that dummy. Over that head, and he tries to come in with that and sit up when told. And we let that dog pick it. So what we're doing, he's learning to switch off as well. That's what we're doing. We're asking him to switch off. Well, other dog retrieves, sit. Dead. We do it on purpose, over his head. And I've pushed that dog out with just a hand signal, not the command, to tell him, because we're making this dog sit there and realise not everything is his. And so it's sit. Sit. Dead. So what's happening? Watch. You know. Send your dog, Andy. Throw it out, Andy. Throw it out. Take your dog up first. Stand still, will you? Whiz. Gone away. Send your dog, Andy. Stop your dog. Get in. Sit your dog. Well done. Well done. Good. Nice and calm, that was. Lovely. Back to you. Gone away. Get out. Send your dog. Think about the wind. You've got to come this side of it. You ain't never going to find it there. Start to handle him. Get him onto it as quick as you can. Back to you. You'll never find it there. You'll never, ever find it there. Back to you. Keep coming back to you. Keep coming. Keep coming. There you go. It's knowing when to blow the whistle. That's the important part of this sort of training. Throw it out. Throw it out. This is just sharpening the dog up. Just because, you know, this dog's going picking up. This dog's going picking up. Notice I just flick my hand out. I can stop the dog when I want to. I can call the dog away. Watch. Gone away. I can now send the dog. Get out. And that dog's got to sit there and wait. And I'm looking at the wind. I don't need to work the dog because he's the right side of the wind. I need to work him if he's the wrong side of the wind. The idea, on these days that are windy, it's wonderful. Get out. Get out. It's wonderful to work them and learn to work them in the wind. Send your dog, Andy. Stop your dog, Andy. Get out. Whiz, whiz. Get out. Send your dog, Andy. And so what we're doing, we're putting temptation between two dogs. We're working two dogs now, not one dog. We're working two dogs. We're going to throw dummies over their head. Right, heave a dummy over his head and don't hit my dog. Heave it right over his head. The wind's, think about where the wind is. You're going to have to really hit it hard. Go on. Whatever you want. Watch your dog doesn't move. So it's at the back with my dog, look. My dog's not going to move until he's told. All I'm going to do is open my arms. Watch, I'm not going to say nothing. Now I'm going to put the hand up, and I'm not giving the command. Now I'm going to push him out. It's all to do with movement. Everything's to do with movement, and the dog's reading the movement, so I don't need to be noisy in my handling. Now he's out the back, I can bring him into it. Yeah. See how he come into the wind? I worked him into the wind. And then I said, you find it, it's your job. Because I know where the wind's blowing, it's hitting me in the ear hard. And I want that dog to trust me. And the more I do this, the more the dog trusts me. Now, for instance, as it goes, Andy sends his dog, he's going to go straight to it. Send him. Stop him. Walk up the field yourself, walk up the field. You want the dog's backside down, now walk up the field. And the reason I want the backside down is if it's going to move up to 4 legs rather than sitting on its backside with 2 legs there. And if it goes to move, I can see it. But once a dog's experienced, some trainers don't mind because it's not, as long as the dog stops. But I still like that dog to park its backside. Call him to you. So he's called him to him. I'm going to send this dog, get out. Sit. Send your dog. So we sent that dog, and that dog's got to sit there. And that dog, look how clean that was. Because he's a Labrador, and they should be cleaner than a Spaniel for that. A Spaniel's job is to hunt, but it's got to retrieve as well. But I like an all-rounder. But I still love Labradors as well. Throw one out there. Heave one out there. You keep moving. You're moving all the time. He's marked it. Get out. Look how close he is to it. He knows it's there, look. That dog knows it's there. Send your dog. Stop your dog. Good lad. Tell your dog to leave that. Into you. Now throw a dummy out in that direction. So that dog's now, concentration has been broken. Now he's going to send the dog for that one. But look at the dog, he ain't daft, he knows. Stop the dog! I don't want that one I've just thrown, I want the red one. I want the red one, not the blue one. There, now he'll turn into it. Now he'll turn in. Back up to you. Don't let the dog go there. Back to you. There. Well done. Well controlled. Nice handling. And look how this dog's sitting there, keen, waiting to go. But we're not going to let him have it. We're going to let that dog have it. The more you change the dogs around and give them different things, the better standard of training you get. Send your dog for that other retrieve. And they've got to sit there. But I don't do this until they're experienced, because I don't put dogs under pressure, but I expect my dogs to be of a very high standard, right? As good as trial dogs, if not better, right? Because at the end of the day, I put my dogs under extreme pressure, with birds, hundreds and hundreds of birds dropping around them. And at the end of the day, if you can't control them on that, you'll not control them on this. So this is just games to these dogs, but at the end of the day, we play these games, and it's game play, and that's what they love doing, look. And so they haven't got other tools wrapped around their neck. It's because we don't take them in the environment that gives them 3,000 other things to think about. We take them in the environment that we've conditioned them, and that's why they respond to us and they want to play that game. And then after you've done this and this training, you need to give dogs time out. And so we say, go and play, get on. And Andy says go and play as well. And so now the dogs can switch off. They can chase around the field if they want to. They've done their training. They've done their schooling for the day. And so we give them time out as well. And it doesn't matter if they put their head down and hunt. He's a spaniel. It doesn't matter if then he wants to pee. But what we don't want him doing is peeing all the time, and you create that problem if you take them to the environment. There you go. He just wants to play, but what does that dog do? He takes no notice of him. Why? Because, look, he's just being dominant now. Look, this dog's, look, dominance, right? This is because he goes on the park, he plays with other dogs, and they play fight. He doesn't play fight with no one. And so this dog tries to take over. And so Andy just had to step in and say, no, that's not acceptable. You can say no to your dogs. It's acceptable to say no to your dog. Because we have to say to the dog, relax, but don't play silly. Because this dog would actually turn. Look, he's just being slightly dominant. Right? He's trying to just dominate the situation, look. And this dog said, I'm not interested. And so he's doing it in dog language. But if he pushed him too far, this dog would growl at him. Because he's an older dog and he'd teach him a lesson. But we don't want that. I don't want him growling at him, and I don't want... So what's happening? I'm saying, play, but under my rules. So that's the rules we're playing.
Good trainers put up or shut up. There's some fantastic trainers out there who don't advertise themselves on the internet. They don't need to. And then we have the great pretenders. I say put your work out there and show everybody how good you are. There's plenty of people on the internet, on these Gundog forums, loving to give out advice, thinking they're something special. They've got a couple of pet dogs and they think they're experts in the Gundog field. Some of these people have to keep their dogs on leads when they go on shoots. It's as simple as that. Some people think the only way to control a dog on a shoot is keep it on a lead. Well, I can tell you that's one of the worst things you can do with a dog on a shoot. It's my job to be professional, to show people how to get dogs to a very good standard. And over the years, I've done it with thousands and thousands of people. If you want to learn how to train your Gundog to a very high standard, I can show you. I've been there, read the book, and seen the play. I started off with in the beating line. I then went up in the picking up line. I then got into competition, winning tests and trials with a number of dogs. And then starting to breed dogs and getting dogs to a very high standard with the dogs that I've bred, I won with as well. And it's important that you go through this stage of understanding and learning and making mistakes. And I don't want other people to make the same mistakes. So come over to Patreon if you want true insight how to train a dog. Stop listening to the idiots out there, the people who are charlatans or only after your money. There's so many people on the market thinking this is an easy way to make money, and they're turning people over. I'm all for anybody who can help each other improve. What I don't like and what I do see, I see too many great pretenders out there pretending that they're Gundog trainers when in reality they're not Gundog trainers. They're pet trainers that have got into the Gundog world. Now you could argue, hang on, what is a pet Gundog? A pet Gundog is a dog that is a pet and they want to do a bit of Gundog work with it. Fine, no problem. If that's all you want and you're happy with that, then stick to that. But if you want a dog of a high standard and you want to have some real deep understanding of how to get a Gundog to a very, very high level, then I'm your man. But if you just want an average little Gundog for the shooting field and you don't want to put the time and the commitment into it, I totally understand. But don't get turned over by treat training pet people who pretend they're Gundog trainers when in reality they're not Gundog trainers. I'm not naming anybody individually. I see it time and time again on the internet. I see people on these groups giving people advice, slagging Gundog trainers off, who talk about discipline, who talk about correction, who talk about reality. If you want to train a dog to a high standard, it can take you up to 3 years to get that dog to a very high standard. A lot of commitment, a lot of time. These trialing people who are successful on a regular basis put so much work into these dogs, and the true dedicated trial people who are not in the circles that cheat put so much work into those dogs to achieve success on a regular basis. That is an indicator that you're a good trainer, when you can get success on a regular basis without cheating. I've pulled away from the trial world to help the Gundog world. There's no secrecy. I show you warts and all. I show you everything. So come over to Patreon and see Chris Upton and learn how to train a dog the way, the Corleone way, the way that I was taught. What I have done is I've moved forward with the times. I use many tools in my toolbox, but I use them sparingly, and that's the whole point. It's knowing when to use those tools and how to use those tools to get your dog to a very high standard.